Yeah, hello everybody. Good afternoon. Me and Pallavi are back together again for our weekly Power Circuit show. And what a hot week it's been, Pallavi, on the front of the reactions coming worldwide to India and India's response to them, and two spokespersons of the BJP being literally thrown out of the party because of their comments, which have, in a way, escalated the diplomatic situation also in the country, with especially the Middle East countries who reacted strongly to it. So quite a happening week it has been. But starting off, Pallavi, with this reaction which came from the Middle East, do you think you were
Hmm.
surprised by this? What happened, or do you think this was something which was maybe waiting to happen the way things had panned out?
Actually, to be very honest, I'm surprised it happened so late. I thought it's going to happen immediately. And certainly, I
Yeah,
don't know, you will throw better light on it. The fact that it seems to be happening also in a very concerted manner. One after another, it seemed that many of the countries were suddenly waking up to Nupur Sharma's comments. Is it
hmm.
because it became viral to a certain extent on the social media? Because I'm sure they're not watching our channel, those in that channel, particularly on which it went on air. So the
Yeah,
cynics certainly feel that it was in a very concerted manner and one after another. But what I really want to know, I mean, political observers like me, and you would know this best, really, Aman, is that BJP normally never removes anyone under pressure. But here they did it, and the criticism which is coming is that you only did it because internationally it was becoming a kind of an embarrassment for you. But back home over here, when people were raising an objection to it, why didn't you take that step? That's my one question to you, Aman, which I really want to know. And second, BJP is also a political party which is known to take advantage or to come out of any adversity. Do you think at some point or time they're going to use this or get to use this as a kind of a polarization in a different way, or rallying together of the so-called Hindu vote bank? Because again, quickly is that I do see on the social media timeline that many of them are criticizing the BJP
yeah,
leadership. That why are you
yeah.
being selective?
See, I think, Pallavi, there are multiple aspects to this controversy. One thing is, I think Nupur Sharma's comment came about 10, 12 days back for the first time.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
they had a bit, I think, a bit died down before the incident in Kanpur happened. And then
Yes.
came this tweet from the other BJP spokesman, which I think really escalated and which actually caused the reaction from the Middle East. So there are two events here. Why BJP did not act earlier, we don't know. Why it really, maybe they were, the spokespersons were ticked off at some level, or were they, we don't know what happened. But definitely when the reaction from the Middle East came, and it is coming one country after the other, also because every Islamic country obviously wants to also address its domestic constituency. It's a Islamic
Hmm.
country, so they have to address their domestic constituency. That the prophet has been, something bad has been said about the prophet, the country has to stand up and object to it. So we have seen this country after country. But also I think we have to understand the India's relationship with the Middle East, Pallavi. For example, just last month when the UAE's president passed away, India declared a one-day state mourning.
Yeah.
UAE backed India on Article 370 revocation. Two other countries, Gulf countries, maintained a silence on that. India's economic partnership with the Middle East is one of the biggest. India is one of the biggest expat population living in the Middle East. Uh, even President Modi has been awarded top civilian honors not just by Bahrain but UAE and also by Saudi Arabia. So in a way, this is, I think, the India's relationship with the Middle East is one of the biggest achievements of the Narendra Modi government in the last few years. These Islamic countries backing India on many counts instead of Pakistan. So I think this is what I think really affected us. That if our relationship, this carefully nurtured relationship over the years, which has been built brick by brick, should not get impacted by these comments, which anyways the party has distanced itself from, and the party says it does not subscribe to it. In fact, has taken action on them. So I think that is the major thing which has played a factor in this. How things pan out in the future, I think most countries, even while criticizing India, have said this, that they appreciate the action taken by the BJP. So in a
Yeah.
way, there is some forward movement in it, and there seems to be some kind of a meeting of mind that India has acted on it. Though some countries asked for a public apology, and India has said that the government doesn't
No
believe in
question.
it respects all religions. So I think it's a multiple aspect kind of a thing, and we'll see how it pans out in the next few days. But as you said, the reaction of the right wing ecosystem on social media, criticizing the government for taking this step is also an interesting phenomenon. this is something that the BJP will have to address in the coming days. There's voices coming in from their ecosystem that the decision maybe is not right. So how BJP handles this, I think, is a big challenge for the party going ahead, Pallavi.
But what
And
happens to
yeah.
Nupur Sharma? Do you think, because I saw Karti Chidambaram tweet today saying that I bet on the fact that Nupur Sharma is going to be given a ticket in the next 2024 election. Do you think she's been made a martyr and at the same time she's been made into a bigger leader by this possibility that BJP gives her a ticket in future?
Well, I think, Pallavi, it's very difficult to hazard a guess on what BJP is going to do
Yeah,
next. So nobody knows
absolutely.
what's going to happen on that front. Now, presently, she's under threat. Security, I think, has been given to her.
Yes.
Obviously, she's under threat. Many outfits have declared a bounty on her, issued threats to her. So obviously, her security now is, one of the aspects
Yes.
that the government is looking at. Obviously, you have to give security to everybody. If somebody's life is under threat, we've seen that on the Sidhu Moosewala's case, that security was withdrawn, and we saw what happened. So I think
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are two separate issues. What happens to Nupur Sharma, only time will tell. Right now, she's suspended. The other spokesman was in fact expelled. So what happens? What BJP tackles in the future? I think it's a big challenge to now control these kind of sometimes kind of statements made in the heat of the moment, or statements made which are very offensive to a certain community. I think BJP needs to maybe tell its spokespersons to be more prepared and more conscious of this fact when they go on television or on other platforms where they are supposed to speak Pallavi.
Yeah, I mean, after all, at the end of the day, really, Aman, I mean, internationally, people are telling you that this is something which shouldn't have happened. But let's talk about hazarding a guess and how risky it is. And this is one thing which all of us really are wanting, and we all political reporters want to know who is going to be the next Rashtrapati. I think we're just a few weeks to the countdown of elections, which is going to take place. Last time, I think the notification came around
Mm,
the first week of July. The backroom
yeah,
negotiations must have begun. Naveen Patnaik didn't come here for just meeting up with the Prime Minister, and he's been a reliable ally, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's your guess? I think we discussed this earlier, but we are closer to the date. What do you think? Let's put it this way: what can be the political messaging in the choice? A Mahila, a Muslim?
Yeah. Mahila, Muslim, tribal, uh, a
Uh,
senior union minister, you never know. We all
yeah.
saw what when Venkaiah Naidu was made the vice president. So we don't know what is on the government's mind, definitely. And, I think nobody knows. Only a few people know in government what's going to happen on that front. But I also find it very interesting that, Pallavi, what the opposition is going to do. This whole large talk about opposition unity, which we have been hearing in the last 3 months, is the proof there in the pudding? When the Rashtrapati elections come, will the opposition get together and put up a joint candidate and actually stick together? Or will it be again a case where, parties, as we mentioned, be it Mr. Naveen Patnaik, be it YSR, be it others, back the BJP as they're expected to do. So I think it's more than a test of the BJP, or who is the choice of the BJP. I see the president election more as a test of the opposition, that however they're going to approach this, is there going to be a joint candidate? Who people are speaking about all kinds of names. We won't hazard guesses here, but I think because a woman has not been made a president, has not been a president under this tenure, tribal. I think BJP would obviously they'll be messaging in it. They were messaging in Ramnath Kovind's election
Yes,
as well. The
absolutely.
Dalit, there'll be a messaging in it because every move in this government is a political move. And ahead of 2024, they would like to give that message. But I would, it may be a Sikh for all you know. It can be anybody. It depends on what the government is really thinking about
Absolutely.
and what is also a
Yeah.
consensus amongst at the top. Yeah.
And talking about a break in the opposition ranks, I remember if you Pratibha Patil times. I remember they managed to break the opposition at that point of time was the NDA. They chose a Marathi woman. It was very difficult for the Shiv
Yeah.
Sena not to vote for her. So that split came. I don't even know whether opposition. See, to break the ranks in the opponents, the opposition also has a semblance of unity. They seem to be
Yeah.
fighting with each other. So where will they
Yeah.
have that joint meeting and decide, okay, this is our candidate, let's try and split the NDA. This is one big chance ahead of 2024, perhaps
Yes.
one more litmus test on whether the opposition can actually be together. So, okay, we should come to know in a couple of days' time. I'm being told about who the presidential name is, so we're not going to hazard a guess. And I think that's it
Yeah.
for us from now. I hate to do this to you, Aman, but I think I also have to wind up because it's going to rain where I'm standing by your kind of in sweltering heat of Delhi. But thank you guys for watching. But before I go, a lovely, lovely piece that only a reporter can understand. I saw this wonderful piece from you, Aman, on the Varanasi blast, and you actually did a recount of what happened in Kashi that particular day. It must have been nostalgic and also what do I say? Painful or yeah, it's
Yeah, it was
unnerving.
shocking. Yeah. It
Yeah.
happened. I think I still remember Varanasi blast happened late evening. It was a Tuesday. I remember catching the overnight train from Delhi to Varanasi, reaching there in the morning, and it was a devastating sight. Pallavi, the Sankat Mochan temple. I've been there earlier.
Yeah, I saw it. I
The
saw it on TV. So it was terrible. So it must
yeah,
have been worse for you.
yeah, it was a tragic blast, and 28 people died, and it has taken 16 long years for justice to be delivered, and finally, the sole accused who went on trial, four bombers, Pallavi, the actual bombers are still absconding, but the main mastermind, whom the police called the main mastermind, Waliullah, a person from Phulpur and Allahabad, was finally sentenced to death yesterday. So that is also, in such a terror case, which I want to say that 16 long years to hand out a conviction.
Exactly.
That is
There's a
also our
lesson
justice
there.
system. Yeah, for the
Yes.
families who went through that pain, they had to wait
Families,
16 long
you also
years.
need to
Yeah,
send out a message to those who conduct these blasts that the justice is going to come so soon. But I think it was a very, as I said, as a reporter, guys, it's a piece you must read because a reporter understands what it feels on the ground. It's not easy actually to see those bodies around you and the blood and the gore around you and then go and report. So do check
absolutely.
out on that skip. It's about to rain here. Do
Yeah,
take care of yourself in that heat. We're going to catch up next week once again. So again, bye, Aman. Good to see you.
thank you, viewers. Bye, Pallavi.